It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha. Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Brouhaha. Marshall Wood sitting up in here with my Brouhaha compatriot, Dale McKee. Mr. McKee.
Yes, sir.
How's it going today?
Life is good.
Life is good. Well, that's good. I couldn't agree with you more. Living the good life, enjoying sports and enjoying our time together. And we got another show we're doing tonight. Of course, I guess that's what we're doing right now.
Hey, is it already? Is it already Tuesday?
It's already Tuesday. You know, I want to start. I mention your sideline view, and I mean that's you've been doing that, and I can't talk about that enough. I looked at your article yesterday, and I was kind of catching up. You know, I've been watching some baseball and gotten behind on some of my doings and carrying on. But a couple of things I noticed in there. One I want to talk about that the economy, you know, is in dollars and cents is always involved in everything. But you had a component to your article this week about the economic impact that hosting the regional or super regional.
No, all three tournaments.
All three tournaments. Well, you know, that was a really unique deal to begin with, to have at Southern Miss over in Hattiesburg to be able to host those three.
That's like a three-peat, man.
Man, that's awesome. You know, and you looked at that, and I guess you came across what somebody had calculated to be the economic impact of those three tournaments in Hattiesburg. Now, y'all folks listen to this.
Yeah, well, I'm not. You know, I'm just going by. This is an estimate that the city of Hattiesburg, basically the area of Hattiesburg. So I'm not sure about how far the city goes out toward 98.
Yeah.
But I'm sure all those businesses are in there for the fact that the water and the fire and everything else.
Yeah.
But they said it was like $20 million impact. Now, impact to me, just a normal Joe on the streets, you know. I feel like that impact, which is coming from their economic development people.
Yeah.
In that big building on the left, as you go at 49 with all the flags.
Yeah.
They estimate it's $20 million. Now, you know, I remember asking about the Miss Al game one year, and the
We're talking about the football game that played in Hattiesburg, between Mississippi and Alabama High School.
And I think they estimated that to be, you know, a couple million. What it is the people that are coming in from out of town. How much money are they going to spend? Well, you know, in this day and time, you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to probably spend upwards to, you know, supply and demand has a lot to do with it too.
Right.
And I know Hattiesburg was short on hotel rooms, according to LSU fans. So, you know, they were probably charging, I don't know, a couple $100 a night for a room. And you base that over like 5 nights for the conference tournament. And then you got another 3 or 4 nights for the regionals, and then another couple nights there for the super regionals. We add all those up and just think of just the hotel rooms, but then the people got to eat.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not going to eat all their meals at the ballpark.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to want to go out. And then they're going to want to go socialize.
Yeah.
You know, especially them LSU fans.
They're big social people.
But they are.
And I'm not hating. I have a lot of friends from South Louisiana, and I do through the cattle business and stuff in the days ago, and they understand. They understand that socialization.
Yeah, and then you might have to get you know, a gallon or two of gas to get around.
Oh, gas.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's gonna cost you an arm and leg. You know,
a gallon or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Lord, I was happy today. It's just down to $4.27.
You know, you talk about the motel rooms, and I remember you mentioned maybe last week's show or week before last. You talked about the LSU fans. I don't know if we were on the air when we did it, complaining about the lack of rooms in Hattiesburg. But now, you get to thinking about that. Now, how many fans would LSU bring? 3,000 to Hattiesburg?
Yeah, well, you know, but there are a lot of them probably drove up from like Slidell area, New Orleans. They probably drove up every day. They probably didn't spend a night.
Well, how many? Say if 2,000 or say if 1,500 spent the night.
Yeah.
That would be it could be 1,000 to 2,000 rooms. You know, and when you go to looking at that, you look at how many rooms are in an average motel. I bet it's less than 100. So you go to figuring it out, and they're probably right. There's probably not enough motels for them in Hattiesburg.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
So
Well,
that's a problem.
I just know when the city of Laurel hosts those World Series over there, and one year they hosted like 3 at one time. I don't know if you remember that. 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah, I
11,
remember
11,
that.
and 12. Well, you know, they were actually telling folks to go to Hattiesburg because they needed rooms for the teams and for the officials coming in and this and that. You know, they bring umpires in, you know, and then they bring delegations from other places in to, you know, bid on the next World Series and, you know, and all that. So, you know, it has to be a little team effort there, you know. Especially up and down 59 quarter there between Laurel and Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, no, I don't know, you know, but I'm sure that, you know, I know, you know, Baton Rouge has probably got a lot of hotel rooms. One thing, they got a lot of casinos down there, don't they?
That's
you know,
true.
right there on the
A lot
river
of
there.
people.
Yeah.
You know, LSU, you know, they draw some crowds when they come. They better have some hotels. I don't know, though. You know, the one thing, that $20 million is nice to have in the region, isn't it? Because I go to Hattiesburg pretty regular.
Sure, but now you're just talking about that. What would an LSU football game on a Saturday night bring?
Oh my goodness!
You know what? You're talking about 20.
One game.
You're talking about $20 million for 3 weekends in Hattiesburg. They might make it one night there.
They sell that much beer at a football game.
Do you think the city of Baton Rouge encourages LSU to play 7 home games?
You think?
Yeah.
Well, as I tell you what I do think, I think we're having a good time here visiting, talking the economy and sports. I am.
Okay.
I always enjoy my time with you, Dad. Don't hurt my feelings in front of everybody. That's rude.
Yes.
But anyway, tell us about our guest tonight.
Is it my time to get another guest? Well, let me get on the phone here real quick.
We're going to take a break and see if we can find a guest. No, we're just kidding. Who you got for us, Dale?
I've got an old friend of mine named Milton Stennett. Milton was he's from the Laurel area. He is in Omaha, Nebraska this week.
Oh, boy.
And talked to him yesterday. And he's got some interesting little tidbits for us about Omaha and how things are going up there. And I think they're going pretty good for Mississippi now.
Yes,
Just
they
what
are.
I'm hearing.
Yes, they
That's
are.
what I'm hearing from my wife and my mom. So I gotta count on those two.
All right.
And so, of course, you know, I'm sitting there in front of the TV set. You know, I even watched Auburn and Stanford yesterday. You know, and of course, I wanted to see the boy from Madison Central to play for Stanford.
Yeah.
And he's a real deal. Braden Montgomery, he can play. He's a freshman. He was Pac-12,
I believe,
freshman of the year. Plays outfield and pitches for him. But to get off subject. But anyway, Milton is going to be our guest tonight. He played a little baseball at Ole Miss. He's an Ole Miss graduate. He goes to a lot of games, you know, and in all the sports, and he's very knowledgeable. He got to play for high school baseball on the legendary Sonny Farah in Laurel, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And some of you people in Waynesboro might remember Sonny Farah.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's still got a few.
A couple of boys walking around over here.
Siblings around Waynesboro. So anyway, so I think Milt's going to be a great guest for us.
Well, we're looking forward to that, Dale. We appreciate you doing that for us and lining this up. It's going to be interesting to get a report from somebody from where the action is. We're looking forward to that. But first, we're going to take a break to hear from some of our sponsors, and Dale and I will be back with tonight's guest right after the break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Milton Stennett. How are you, and how's Omaha, Nebraska?
Well, hello, Dale. I'm glad to be on the show. And listen, Omaha, Nebraska is great. It is really, it's Omaha. This week, the Rebels are rolling. They're 2-0. The sun is shining. It's hot and it's dry, not a cloud in the sky, but the grass is green. And the Rebels are playing with house money, looks like, to me.
Yeah.
They definitely are. They're really amazing, you know, after the roller coaster season that you had. Well, tell us your thoughts on the first game against Arkansas. Another great pitching performance, some clutch hitting. Just give us your opinion.
Well, my impression of the team, just watching them for the past 3 or 4 weeks since they played Missouri, it seems like they feel loose. They feel like maybe they're a team of destiny, maybe kind of like the Bulldogs last year seemed to be a team of destiny. The game against Arkansas, we came out and drew first blood, and we just kept punching, and the hits kept falling, and got a little momentum, and you never know. Even though you take a 1-0 or 2-0 lead, you never know, but it kind of felt like the Rebels were in control of the game from the very beginning and never let up. I just think they're having fun.
Well, one thing I noticed, and of course you're I guess an expert on the game to a certain extent, because that you played it for so long, but the 2-out hits are just amazing to me that they're getting in some of these clutch situations, like I believe it was the Auburn game. There was 2 out and they got a couple runs early, and then in that first inning rally, and then last night there was a couple innings they got a couple runs after there were 2 outs. Of course, they got plenty, but anyway, did that surprise you?
No, that's true. That's true. It seems like for the last month, the team has, it seems like they're making better contact with the ball. I don't know the stats. I personally believe they've struck out less in the last month than they did the first 2 months of the season. Seems like they're making more contact, and we're getting some of those, I won't call them bloop hits, but soft line drives, just because we're making contact, and sometimes on 2 strikes. So, we've been a pretty good 2-out team for the last 15 games.
Well, is there since you're in the basically in the center of all this? Are the Rebels a Cinderella team? Is somebody else a Cinderella team up there? Are the Rebels the best team right now? Is Oklahoma better?
Yeah. That would be a toss-up between probably the Rebels and Oklahoma, because they've kind of been under the radar a little bit. But if you consider that we were the last team in the tournament, and some thought we should not have even been in. Some thought it should have been NC State or someone like that. I'd say the Rebels are the ones wearing the slipper. I'd say we're definitely the underdog team, and I think the guys probably think that. That's why I say they're playing with house money, is because I think they feel like we squeaked in, and now it's destiny. Maybe it's destiny. We'll see.
A lot of Ole Miss fans in the up in the Omaha area.
It looks like if the stadium holds 25,000 people, it feels like at least half of the stadium or more are Rebel people. I'd say there's probably 12 to 14,000 Rebels here. It's sort of like traveling to a bowl game. The Rebels have taken over every venue that we've been in, and of course they've been well behaved. But everywhere you go, the people wearing red and blue and saying "hotty toddy."
Yeah, I mean,
here in Omaha, people wonder what in the world does that mean? Hotty toddy.
Well, they'll know when y'all leave.
Well, no, that's true.
They were saying
been a couple of hottie toddies have been consumed somewhere at some of these local establishments.
You could certainly hear it coming over there, the TV last night. They were well represented.
Have you seen many people from the Pine Belt area?
Well, we've run into some Laurel, Jones County legends, and we've heard of a few that we have not seen. We have not seen Bruce Ratcliffe and the legend Bobby Blaze, but we saw his picture on Facebook.
Okay.
We know they're here because they ran into Roger Glenn, who's a West Laurel boy.
Okay.
That was a childhood buddy of ours. We ran into Steve Ellis, Peter Lacey. We saw Ed Dykett last night, Tommy Thames.
Okay, now these are all people from the Laurel area. Yeah.
That's right. That's probably true.
There you go.
And so there's quite a few Laurel people here, and we're well represented. And we're going home tonight. Hate to, but got to go back to the salt mines tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
But we've had a great time here.
I want to butt in here. I apologize. This is Marshall. I want to ask you a question. Kind of outside of the the lines for a minute. You talk about packing up yourself or your family and taking a trip to Omaha to watch the World Series. And you got probably in a family unit, you got some folks that's more interested in baseball than the others. I imagine there's a lot to do. So if somebody's talking about going to the World Series, the College World Series, planning a trip, I mean, you got any advice you would give somebody maybe next year when maybe you make it back, or what would you give somebody planning a trip? How would you advise them? Things to see or not to do?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to do in downtown Omaha. It is set up for tourists. I know they only have the World Series, 10 days a year, but there is block after block of restaurant, a brewery, ice cream, pastries, bakeries, just within a quarter of a mile of the stadium.
You're in a museum right now, aren't you?
Let me tell you what we did. On Sunday we had the day off, and we said, let's go to Lincoln, Nebraska. Let's go to the campus of the University of Nebraska.
Cool.
And it's only 45 miles from where we were staying. We were out west of town already, and we went and found the campus very easily. Downtown Lincoln, which is the capital, and we wanted to find Memorial Stadium, where the Cornhuskers play, and we found it very easily. Kathy told me, she said, go see if any of those doors are open. Sure enough, there was a door open. There was a guy inside, and he said, yeah, if you guys want to go in the stadium, though, go to gate 23A. You can take a picture from the end zone of the stadium. And he said, oh, by the way, if you want to see Dan Devaney's yellow blazer, go around to the other end of the stadium to the trophy room. And so we did both. We went to the trophy room and walked in, and it was quite elaborate. Any university would have been proud of the trophy room. It was really set up as a showcase for Nebraska football. But we walk in, and a friendly guy, talkative, kind of like me, basically comes up and says, "Hey, you guys want to go out onto the playing field?"
Why,
like,
yeah.
Like, are you kidding? Of course we do. And so we got the grand tour of their weight room and the trophy room, their wall of champions, their hall of fame. We walk out onto the playing surface. They just put in a brand new rubberized turf, 91,000 seat stadium, and we walk out, and the strong smell of rubber. You can tell it's brand new, and it's painted with corn huskers in the end zones. And Kathy even took my picture. Kathy, my wife, took my picture of me doing the Heisman pose on the goal line. And, you know, it was a grand experience. And at first class, the people there are, they're proud of their football program. And they think it's going to turn around. They haven't won enough games recently, but they think it's turning around this year. They're building a $150 million football facility adjacent to this beautiful complex that they let us tour. So it was a big deal. So if you come to Omaha, make the 50-mile trip to Lincoln and see the campus of Nebraska. It's worth it. A lot of other stuff to do here. We're in the Durham Museum, which is a museum showcasing life in the Midwest over the past 200 years. Every train from every railroad, Union Pacific and Southern Pacific, and all of that. They've got replicas of the railroad cars and the engines, and they've got a depiction of prairie life back in the days of the Sooners and the schooners, and that's just what we're doing today. But there's one of the world's greatest zoos is in here in Omaha, and has outdoor and indoor exhibits. It's kind of a neat place.
Well, so what we're hearing here is that, you know, if you got a family and you got a guy or a gal that's crazy about baseball, you can. There's plenty for everybody to do when you get up there. I guess that's the point. So, you know, just pack them all up and go and have a good time.
What are the scouts?
Yes, there is. It's a family-friendly town, and if you enjoy adult beverages, you can get them anywhere. But if you've got a family with small children, equally, there's hundreds of restaurants in downtown Omaha you can take your family to and have a family environment. We're really impressed with the place. Hey, we have to leave.
Yeah. Well, listen. Let me ask.
Maybe we'll get to come back, Dale.
Yes,
Dale,
definitely.
Maybe we'll need to come back this coming weekend. We'll see.
Hey, that's the truth. Yeah, fly out of Gulfport straight to Omaha, right? Hopefully, or through somewhere.
Well,
I'm sure.
One stop. You know, we flew out of Gulfport. Took an hour to get to Atlanta. Another hour to catch our connection, and then 2 more hours to Omaha. It was pretty quick. It was pretty good trip.
Good. Well, listen, are the scalpers having fun up there, or you know, how's that working out? Ticket prices reasonable if you want to go. Hotel rooms reasonable.
I don't. I don't know the definition of reasonable. It depends on how bad you want to get in. Look, the first tickets we bought within 30 minutes of Ole Miss defeating Southern Miss. We went online, Ticketmaster, and I think the tickets were $150 each. And then we didn't know last night when we were going to play, so we waited to see if we were winners or losers. And then we got those tickets. Tuesday morning. Monday. Got those Monday morning, and they were like $240 each.
Oh my goodness!
So it's and there may be a better place to get them. Folks who've done this several times might could tell me something better, but usually you go on the Ticketmaster or StubHub or Vivid Seats or something and just see what's out there.
Yes, and I've told too, if you go to the Losers Hotel, when they start getting eliminated, you're going to find a lot of tickets for sale too. So that's just what I heard too.
Now No, I have heard that also. I've heard you go. Well, see, the Stanford fans, if there's any still here, they don't want their tickets. They'd probably take anything to get rid of them, and same thing with Texas fans.
So are there rooms close to the stadium? Hotel rooms at a reasonable price, or I know reasonable is at $4.47 a gallon of gas is. I don't know if that's reasonable anymore either. But I've assumed they go for over $200 a night at least, huh? In a good hotel, maybe more.
Much more.
Much.
You're stuttering.
That's three muches, buddy.
Yeah. Well, there was one particular hotel I looked at. Again, this was an hour after beating Southern Miss. It was a downtown hotel. It was kind of like the Kingpin, where they consider themselves in the middle of things. And 4 nights was $5,300. And we decided to not stay there. So we went 20 miles west of town and found rooms for, $250 a night. Yeah. It's a seller's market. It's a seller's market here because I guess they can get it, but it's kind of like your summer vacation. If you've got you've got money set aside for your summer vacation, if you're going to come to Omaha, you got to think of it as a summer vacation, and maybe that's where you're going to spend your $3,000 or $4,000.
That may be a whole year vacation, son. That may be your summer, your spring, and your fall all together. But anyway.
Yeah.
Guys, I hate to do this, but about the only thing I'm good for is keeping up with the time, and sometimes I can't do that. But unfortunately, we are about out of time for this segment of our show. Dale and I want to thank you so much for taking time from your vacation/trip to Omaha to support those Rebels. We thank you for taking time and visiting with us. We really do.
My pleasure. Go Rebels. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Milton.
Stay safe. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. We're going to take a break to hear from some of our sponsors, and then Dale and I will be back with tonight's final segment right after this commercial.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, now we know about Omaha.
Yeah.
You better take your pocketbook full of money when you go. You mentioned this. We were talking about the economic impact.
Yeah.
At Hattiesburg.
Right.
And you mentioned to me. You said, "Can you imagine the economic?" Ain't no telling.
I would really say it would probably be 10 times what it is in Hattiesburg. Yeah. Because of. The Hattiesburg crowds were like 5,000, so I'm not sure how many nights, but what I'm saying, even that's 50. I mean, these guys are getting, I don't know how many games are played up there, but it just seems like you're putting about 50,000 folks in that stadium every day for almost, at least for the first 5 or 6 days, and then you got, the championship games and but the hotel rooms are probably twice as much that they are in Hattiesburg too. And you got people flying in on planes, and you're creating extra jobs. And I wanted to ask him, but I didn't want to because it seems like every time I've been out of town lately, I go up to a restaurant, whether it's in Houston or Dallas or everywhere it is, and there's signs on the doors, help wanted.
Yes.
I'm just he's talking about all those restaurants up there. And I'm just thinking, do they have enough cooks? Do they have enough waiters? How long does it take here?
Yeah. Well, I imagine the mayor and board of aldermen or the councilman or whatever, they'll probably be out there working and say, "Welcome to Omaha." Yeah. Because they'll make a list. That'll make your annual budget for you for most cities.
Well, I'm sure you watched some of the games, but I just noticed that pedestrian bridge they have. That's
Yeah,
neat.
wasn't that neat?
Yeah, you going.
I've never seen that before.
No, and they lit it up at night.
Yeah.
And I've seen bicycle bridges just for bicycles in California, going over valleys and stuff like this. But I've just never seen a pedestrian bridge. And they're right there on the Missouri River. And I think what is it? Council Bluffs, Iowa is not too far from Omaha. The only thing I really knew about Omaha was that Peyton Manning used it as a football signal, and that the Air Force has a big secret place up there. And also,
Dale, you can't let the secrets out. It's the Air Force. Don't be.
Also, that they sell steaks.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I was thinking about with the TV show I watched coming up. The people that was it the Wild World, something from Nebraska, Mutual of Omaha, the animal show, remember?
Yeah, the insurance, life of insurance.
Yeah. Well, listen, we got to go. We've had a good time. We appreciate our guests tonight. It's always good to get together with you and talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports. We appreciate you. And we look forward to it. But we want you to know that you can follow us or keep up with us on Facebook at the Brouhaha, or you can check and see replays of the show on YouTube at our YouTube channel, the Brouhaha. But for now, it's time for us to go. We'll be back next week, same Brouhaha time, same Brouhaha channel. But we all know what time it is. It's time to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
And we'll see you next time for more of the Brouhaha. Take us out of here, Jamie.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Dale McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.